Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a personal bankruptcy attorney here in the Atlanta area, and today I'd like to talk to you about the difference between personal bankruptcy, which is what I do, and corporate bankruptcy, which is what you hear a lot on the news. Big companies are going bankrupt. Sometimes even a city, municipality may file bankruptcy. And the difference really couldn't be more stark. For an individual, for the most part, your options would be to file either a Chapter 7, which is a liquidation, or a Chapter 13, which is a debt consolidation. Both of these run on a fairly formal timetable. With Chapter 7, we file it. You go to a meeting of creditors about a month later. Creditors have a certain amount of time to file objections, which they very rarely do. The case will be set up for discharge about 4 or 5 months after you file, and you're done. So the typical time frame for Chapter 7 is about 5 months. Chapter 13 is a bill consolidation plan for individuals, debt consolidation. It lasts no more than 5 years. So you file Chapter 13, you prepare, with your attorney's help, a plan of repayment, get that plan confirmed by the judge, you make the payments for the next 5 years, and you get a discharge at the end. Again, it follows a fairly straightforward time frame, 5 years before you're out of Chapter 13. By contrast, a corporate bankruptcy is an entirely different animal than a personal Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. Corporate bankruptcies typically are filed under Chapter 11, which is a business reorganization. And the point of a Chapter 11 is to allow a business to reduce its obligations and to restructure and to get new financing and to remain in business. If a corporation cannot make a Chapter 11 work, they can go into a Chapter 7 and wind up operations. But many times, companies, retail stores, for example, or airlines, may go into a Chapter 11 to reorganize. And Chapter 11s can go on for years and years. They can involve what they call debtor-in-place financing, where a bank will loan money to the Chapter 11 debtor, so the debtor can continue operations. Pension money can be restructured. Other debts can be restructured. It's much more complex. And in fact, the bankruptcy bar, the attorneys who do Chapter 11, have very little interaction with attorneys like me who do Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. It's a much more adversarial type of thing. There are committees, there are votes, creditor committees and votes about the plan, and judges are much more involved. The trustee, if the U.S. trustee is more likely to be involved, much more complicated, obviously much more expensive, whereas typical Chapter 7 may be $1,500 to $2,000, a 13 may be $4,500, $5,000. Chapter 11, a corporate debtor may pay a couple $100,000. It could be more, it could be millions of dollars. So it's an entirely different animal. So when you're looking at the news and you see that a corporation filed bankruptcy, and you look at all the complications and all the objections and the litigation, and you think, I don't want to go through that, you don't need to worry, because again, for an individual, that type of stuff doesn't happen. Corporate bankruptcies are an entirely different animal than a personal bankruptcy, and personal bankruptcy is much simpler, much less expensive, and much more straightforward in terms of what's going to happen. As an attorney, I can predict for you what's likely to happen, and much less likely to be problems in a personal bankruptcy than in a corporate bankruptcy. So that's the big difference in a nutshell, and hearing about bankruptcy complications in the corporate world should not dissuade you from seeking advice from a personal bankruptcy attorney about what to do about your personal situation. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, subscribe to our channels, our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Go to my website. It's atlanta-bankruptcy.com. You can download my free Debt Destroyer Survival Kit. A lot of good information there. Any questions for me personally, 770-393-4985 is my phone number. Happy to help you any way I can. This is Jonathan Ginsberg, wishing you the best. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Jonathan, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'd like to invite you to download my free Debt Destroyer Survival Kit right now. I've packed my survival kit with answers to the questions I've heard from clients for over 25 years here in the Atlanta area. Inside the survival kit, you'll find clear, easy to understand answers to critical topics about how to solve debt problems once and for all, including how do I protect my stuff, my house, car, and personal property if I file for bankruptcy? Are there any legitimate alternatives to bankruptcy? Will I ever get credit again, and if so, when? What mistakes must I avoid to get the most benefit out of bankruptcy? You can claim your copy right now by visiting my Atlanta-bankruptcy.com website. And you are always welcome to use the email form on my website to ask me anything about debt and personal bankruptcy in Atlanta. www.atlanta-bankruptcy.com. And as always, I wish you the best.